This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your hosts, Rich Post, John Baumes, Mike Mallett, and Chris Marquart.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of the 31st Lap. I wish you could have heard what Mike said just before we went live tonight.
No, you don't.
Welcome to the 31st Lap, powered by Red Bull. Yup, we got the Red Bull money. Oh, wait,
I don't have.
Money. It's
Nestle,
Aquafina water this time.
No, Nestle Pure Life water.
Nestle Pure Life water. And looks like maybe a Keurig over there for John. Richin.
We can pick on Rich, but he actually did have his daughter's birthday this week?
There was a legitimate birthday this time around, if you can believe it. Yep.
We celebrate
so many. It's not legitimate if it's not on a Thursday.
Yeah. I don't know.
So Rich isn't able to join us tonight. John made it. Welcome, John. And Mike fresh off the baseball diamond.
Yeah, can't you tell? Actually, I was fresh off the gymnasium.
It's a good thing it's not smell-o-vision, right?
Yeah, I know.
You got the stank working tonight, right?
Yeah, go for it, man. Haven't done laundry in 4 weeks.
100 miles an hour in practice.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Good times.
Big show on deck tonight. We're going to catch up with Bobby Varin a little bit later on. This is episode number 66, if you can believe it.
Well, that's perfect then. That's his new number.
Yeah, that's good.
Quite fitting.
One of his new numbers.
Yeah.
Mike had actually choreographed that. He'd planned this out a couple weeks ahead. Just so
right.
He's got many new numbers.
Actually, it was one of those. Bobby did really well this weekend, so I'm like, hey, why not talk to him?
Yeah, he did great over at Big Diamond.
He was good at Big Diamond. Almost won the race. And we'll get into a discussion of what happened later on just because I want to get Baumes riled up.
You're not going to get me riled up.
Why not? I'll get you riled up.
Why are you going to get me riled up?
Because John's all grumpy. Because John's grumpy tonight. And he doesn't.
Just because I'm in a freaking pissy mood doesn't mean I'm going to get riled up about that.
He has the monster tree trunk shoved up it tonight. I'll tell you that. It must be a red oak up there or something. My God.
You don't want to get me started on the air, trust me.
No. He was complaining on the way here, so I just turned on my phone.
Complaining? I didn't say 2 words on the way here. You're on your goddamn phone the whole way here.
I have important pressing matters to take care of.
Jesus Christ.
And he's got nothing to do with it.
At least I got everything else recording. I forgot to record the auxiliary MP3, so hopefully nothing crashes. We should be fine.
Wouldn't be the first time we didn't have a backup plan.
Well, we had a backup plan. I just didn't execute it.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's one of those things.
We're flying by the seat of our pants, as per usual.
That's not true.
No, it is true. It's okay.
I'm hoping to get a Dick Dragon Motorsports update here pretty quick. Also,
you suck, and so do I.
Just wanted to...
I need Quebec to start.
Let everybody know before we get into it that at the very last minute, the Daubers live event coming up on Saturday has been postponed. We're going to do a makeup event at some point. We haven't got a date mapped out yet. BlackRock has canceled.
I don't have a date either.
Sorry, Mike.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Oh, it's personal, and it's a problem.
But we're not going to be able to make that show over at Daubers or some unforeseen circumstances. Basically, the brain of the live rig is no longer available for Saturday, so we're not going to be able to make that happen.
Surprise.
We apologize to everybody. We are going to make that up at some point. We just haven't got a date yet, but that is going to happen, and we apologize to the folks over there at Daubers, and we'll make that right here as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Mike wasn't going to be able to make it anyway.
No, I'm going racing.
Where was this weekend?
This weekend it looks like Williams Grove, Port Royal. That's what the plan is right now. It is Easter, so I got to be able to get home. I'm going to go down and see my mom on Sunday. She's making lasagna, so I'm excited.
You're not going to pass that up.
No, there's no chance I'm passing up lasagna, man. Come on. Being that I enjoy lasagna and, I like to eat, and, it's pretty, I'm going for it.
We'll be going to my parents on Sunday.
All right. Fort Plain?
No.
They don't live in Fort Plain anymore. Yeah, I know.
It's the old guy's birthday.
They were in Alaska at one point, weren't they?
Last summer, yeah. They spent the whole summer in Alaska.
Look, it was just a question. You didn't even get mad at me about it.
Ugh, man, I gotta wake up. I'm tired.
Yeah, it's the old guy's birthday Sunday, so we're going out for that.
Nice. I should have stopped and got a Red Bull because I'm drained. You know what? No, I should have got a Monster because I'm not supporting one company or the other because they don't sponsor us.
Speaking of the number 66, he'll be 66 on Sunday.
Really?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What is this, episode 66? Mm-hmm. 66 is wild? I don't know.
This is
episode 66, but I think this is something like our 70th or 73rd
Yeah, because we don't count the live shows in there, right?
No, typically we don't. We probably should. But that's unto itself. There's 31st lap and there's 31st lap live.
That's right.
Whatever.
You are so excited tonight. Oh, my God.
Woo! There you go. There you go. I'm fired up.
And you were talking about me at the beginning?
Oh, you're just shut up.
What the hell? That's BS.
This is, you know what? I already got the name for this episode. Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, shut up. You've been grumpy since you got in a car.
Yeah, I'm not an old man, though. You might be.
Oh, you're old. And I turned to the right and I look at him. He's over there pouting. I don't know what he's pouting about.
Pouting? I wasn't pouting.
He was pouting because Duane Howard didn't win on Sunday.
I got in the car and I started to say like 2 words. And like usual, he's on his phone. He was on his phone the whole way here. So I just sat there. What am I supposed to do?
I got a
Have
lot going on right
with
now.
myself?
I'm working on a business meeting for Monday.
Okay, so then don't complain because I didn't say nothing.
And I'm
Who the
getting a
hell
new
am I
car
talking
tomorrow.
to?
So
hey, what kind of car? Are you going to buy that red Monte Carlo you had last weekend?
No, I'm actually going to buy
He is getting a freaking Chevy.
I'm getting a 2011, well, new to me car, 2011 Chevy Malibu.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Look at you.
I told you last week what
my
happens
good friends.
when you buy a Chevy.
I always buy Chevy because that's America.
No, you obviously you don't. You're trading in a Jeep.
Yeah, I know. Finally, I'm going back to America. So
Back to America. Jesus
Jeep is owned by Fiat, which is Italian. I'm buying American.
There you go. Good thinking.
Good grief. They haven't always been
I did that for
Fiat.
Zoopy.
Get that transmission ready to replace in about 60,000 miles.
Shut up. Crap, I'll have that done by the summer.
It's true.
I know.
It's true.
So, especially this summer, I'm looking to travel.
There was some discussion last night. From last night about a trip to Ogden, Utah coming up later this summer, which I don't know how I feel about.
You're going to Utah?
It may happen. I don't know.
Why?
I'll tell you more later.
Okay, so you really don't want to talk about your demolition derby plans on the air, which is good because nobody really cares.
Right, exactly. I'm aware of that.
But we are like on one of those nights where we're just not friendly to each other.
I can't wait for Bobby to get on the air. At least it'll be nice to him.
I like Bobby. I don't like you.
I know. That's not a secret or a mystery, really, to anybody.
Oh, man. Who's in the chat room?
I don't know who
Who's
is
Bubbles?
Bubbles the clown said he should have been here. Or she.
Who was Bubbles?
I don't know. Bubbles the clown. Welcome.
Wow.
John, what'd you find on your phone, buddy?
Nothing. I'm trying to get on my website because you wanted a friggin'
All right, you know what? Let's just
update, and I wasn't planning on doing
You got any race results over there?
I got tons of race
All
results.
right.
I got my Dirt Track Digest app here. Make sure you download it. Yeah. And don't worry, for Baumes, I did go into the modified super schedule and update the information. Unfortunately, I spelled Jimmy Horton's name really wrong. I don't know what happened.
How the hell do you spell?
Well, what happened
Horton
is
wrong?
I saved it, and I didn't realize I saved it with the non-edited version because I was typing and my computer froze. You know how when you're typing something on your phone or something and it freezes and then all the letters get jumbled up? Well, I wasn't paying attention because I was in a hurry because I had a lot to do. So I just typed in his name, didn't realize that the computer had frozen, and I just clicked save, and then there's like 5 steps I got to go through to get it to update. So the first step is updating the information, and I absolutely wasn't paying attention, so I suck, but it happens.
Wow.
All right, so let's take a look here at the weekend racing action. We'll start in New Egypt on Saturday. Jimmy Horton picked up the $10,000 victory down at the New Egypt Speedway. Big Diamond Raceway raced on Sunday afternoon. Had a good time there. Pretty good race. And it was CVD, Craig Von Dorn, picking up the win after an incident between Bobby Varin and Duane Howard. If you are a fan of, what is it? What was Silverman? What's Gary Silverman GSP video?
GSP video.
Go on YouTube. You can check that out, and you can make the decision for yourself as to what happened in the incident. We'll have Bobby Varin on to chat a little bit. My column this week in Dirt Track Digest kind of highlighted, talked about Horton and Von Dorn, and of course the incident at Big Diamond on Sunday. If we're talking about the world of sprint car racing, the only place that race sprint cars other than the World of Outlaws they were out west in California. Kyle Larson picked up the win on Friday with the Outlaws.
Yep.
And at Chico on Saturday, Paul McMahon, who announced also that he is running full-time in 2012 with the CJB Motorsports number 51 as part of he'll be part of that series looking to chase that championship. So Paul McMahon full-time on the road with the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. So good for him.
That Friday night show was a good show.
Of course it was. Kyle Larson won. You probably couldn't even handle yourself. Probably couldn't sleep.
No, it was a good race.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
I watched both of them Friday
Dirt
and
Vision?
Saturday, yeah.
Did you buy Dirt Vision? Did you break down and do it? Did you buy the whole package?
Sure.
I figured you would. USAC Live, Dirt Vision, you got to do it all. Other winners of note, Cole Duncan won at Lincoln Speedway, which is impressive, driver from Ohio. Good for him, first win down there. NASCAR, was exciting, other than who won. Kyle Busch won both races, the Sprint Cup and the Nationwide Series.
My kid was jumping up and down watching the end of that race.
Yeah.
He didn't really know what was going on, but he was excited about it.
That's cool. And for those that love the Whelen Southern Modified Tour, I'm just going to mention it because if you ever watch Madhouse, Burt Myers picked up the win there. I think that's pretty much all that people are going to care about. Williams Grove, weather. Port Royal, weather. Selinsgrove, weather. Hagerstown, they're never going to make up that race. So the fall brawl is going to be the summer.
Three times
it's going to be like SummerSlam or who knows, Winterfest. Who knows?
I don't know why the hell they don't just schedule it during a weekday.
I don't know
what it is about that place. For years and years and years, they will not book a modified show on a weekday. They'll do other shows
because nobody can go. Here's the thing:
they
it's
do
so
other races on
far
weekdays. They
away,
won't
dude.
do it on a
Dude,
modified
it's so
race.
far away. You can't. It's just too far away.
If you schedule it right, you can.
No. When are you going to schedule it?
You schedule. Look at
on
the
Good
other
Friday when everybody's
look
off.
at the other schedules out there and see when these guys might be in the neighborhood, and then you book it around that.
They did.
You can find
for Sunday
of
Selinsgrove weekend,
you
and
can
it snowed
find the
out.
right date, but they just, for whatever reason, they have to have it on a Saturday.
Well, here's the reason why. We all know the reason why they have to have that on the perfect day. Because it's a hell of a lot of money they're paying out, and they didn't have anybody there when we were there in the fall.
Well, no kidding. I'm not talking about just this race. I'm talking about the last many, many years. That's always been a stipulation with them. Even when they ran the Super Dirt Series race in March, everybody always said, why do you keep running it in March when there's always the risk of weather? Weather always created a havoc with that race.
But you have to.
That's
not
an
can't.
And
understatement or
everybody always said,
exaggeration.
why don't you run it during the summer on a weekday like the other tracks do? And they said, we don't race during the week. But they do. They have sprint car races and late model races during the week.
But let me ask you this. Here's the difference. Okay.
During the summertime.
Here
they will not
is
do it with
the
a
difference.
modified show.
What race are you going to piggyback with?
You gotta
No.
You
What
just gotta look at the
you tell
schedules
me.
and figure it out.
There is no modified races that you can piggyback with. There's no modifieds in Maryland.
I looked at my schedule the other day, and there was a couple of dates that could possibly work. I don't remember exactly what they were without going back and looking again. But I just kind of looked through
at
it
your
the other
modified
day.
super schedule.
I have my own.
I know.
He does.
Mine actually is a real super schedule. Yours is like fake. Your wannabe super schedule.
Fake.
You only got 200 dates. I got 700.
Good Lord.
No, it's just not feasible, man.
It is feasible.
No,
you
it is
can
not.
make it work if you want it to.
No, you can't. Not for the amount of money they're paying. It's not going to work.
So they're the only track in
Dude,
that
it's
our
different.
modifieds go to that can't do that. Can't do a weekday show.
It's not
Everybody
possible.
else can make it work. They can't. That doesn't
Dude,
make any
it's
sense.
not the same thing. It's not like going to Canandaigua on a Tuesday. It's 5 hours away for the closest guy. And it's a track that doesn't race modifieds.
Yeah, because they've never gone there before, right?
No, but I'm just saying it's not going to work.
5 hours away in October. What the hell's the difference?
It's different. I'm telling you, it's different. It's not the same. You're going. It's Hagerstown. It's not Charlotte. It doesn't have the mystique of Charlotte.
Not as far as when they used to go to Delaware. They used to do that every year.
Yeah, but they also used to do Grandview. Okay,
so
which is
piggyback it against
where?
Find out
Where?
another race.
What race you going
gotta
to
look
piggyback?
at-
There's no modified racing
you gotta
down there
look at
this
a
year.
big schedule. You can make it work if
Dude,
you
you
want
can't.
to.
Not
If
not
you
now.
want to bad enough, you
There
can
is
make it
not
work.
Super Dirt Series races in Southern
It doesn't
Pennsylvania
have
anymore.
to be a Super Dirt Series race.
But there's not big modified races.
There are no
like,
Super Dirt Series
not
races down there.
There's no Lincoln. There's none of those. They're not. There's just nothing to piggyback. Modifieds get the big diamond and Grandview.
Doesn't New Egypt
Then
have
they
a
go
show coming
east.
up this summer?
Yeah, June 18th. So you're going to go June 19th.
Yeah,
so
there
you're going to
you
go
go.
when school's getting out and all that. You're going to do it then. It doesn't work.
Well, you're asking me to
You know
find
what?
a date.
Here's
Okay, I
what's
just
funny.
said one.
Yeah, but that's still 3.5 hours, 4 hours away.
So what?
Oh my God, you don't get it. You know what? Here's the difference. You've never.
I know. I
you
never
know what?
get it. I
It's
don't
not
ever get
your
anything.
$30,000, dude. It's not
Jesus
your.
Christ.
Okay, it's not your money on the line. That's why. If it was your freaking $100,000
What do you mean
money,
it's not my money on the line? I paid for that show.
oh, $20.
Tell
Yeah,
me it ain't.
yeah, but it's not your $100,000 purse that's on the line that you're gonna have to pay out of your pocket if it doesn't work. And honestly, who cares?
And I'm not even
Hagerstown.
talking about
They don't
the
even
makeup
care.
date.
They don't care about the
Specifically.
modifieds.
Just
they don't
any-
care about modifieds.
Any modified show there, period. I'm not even specifying it's got to be this particular race. For many years, their modified races, it's either in March or it's October, November. That's it. There's no in between.
Dude, I'm just telling you, it won't work. Won't work.
Okay.
And Ken, no, we aren't married, jerk. I was too busy arguing to look at the chat. No, it just won't work, man. I'm just Hagerstown.
How do you know? You've never done it.
I've been to Hagerstown for a midweek show. Actually, I went to New Egypt the first night, then I went to Hagerstown the second one. It just wasn't. It's just, Hagerstown is not a modified track. You know what? It's like, you know what? I'm going to book modifieds at Williams Grove for a midweek show. We'll see what happens. All right, last year.
Tell you what'll happen.
Last year.
I've been there for a modified race with a full house, so don't
Yeah,
tell
okay.
me
Oh,
it's not.
yeah, but what did they have with it? Sprint cars. And,
No,
listen, yes,
they
they had
didn't.
358s. Yes, they did.
Not when I was there. They didn't. They had late models.
When were you there?
I went to that March race several years ago.
No, I said Lincoln.
We're talking about Hagerstown.
Yeah, but I said Lincoln, okay?
Do you
And
need that
I'm making this reference for this reason.
Just holler if you want that.
Last
turned
year, there was 2 ROC races. You had Selinsgrove
I've
and
been
Lincoln.
hollering.
Selinsgrove and Lincoln
do you
back to back. They had
No.
18 cars and like 22, respectively. Somewhere around there. Maybe it was even 14 at Selinsgrove. Okay? It just doesn't work. The midweek stuff down there, if it's, $7,500 to win, it's like, what, $150 or $200 to take the green? Is it worth driving all the way down there for a show? It's just not
Well, that's
doable.
not for you to
And then you're not
decide.
going to have the fans because if you're doing just modifieds, people in Hagerstown do not care about modifieds. It's like booking a modified show at Williams Grove. Okay, I went to the last mod show there. I think it was Lindy Vicari or Vinny Vicari, one of the Vicaries, whoever it was that promoted it. Okay, it's Friday night. They have a crap ton of. They have sprint car racing. There's 5,000 people there. It's packed. Come back Saturday for just the modifieds. Guess what? Throw a hand grenade in the stands. You're not going to hit anybody. All right, modified racing down there. People just don't care. It's not the same. They don't. It's not like Central New York where they give a crap about modifieds. And I'm not saying that to down our modifieds. I'm just saying people down there don't care. If it's a big late model race, they can do it because it'll draw fans because it's late models. That's what they race their weekly. That's what people want to see. They want to see the World of Outlaws. They want to see Lucas Oil.
It's what they're acclimated to.
Right.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're used to, and that's what they like. Now, again, the reason they used to try those early season shows is because they used to be successful with the modifieds early in the year. You know, it was good. It worked because they would get 50 cars every week. But it's not what it was anymore. That's all. Okay, I'm done.
You're
Everybody, you know what? You know, we're trying to make this entertaining, and everyone's just ripping on me for arguing.
Ken's asking me to help. Well, Bobby Varin's on deck here at 7:30. John's out there getting him on the line right now. So we'll be catching up with Bobby Varin here in a little bit to talk about his busy weekend. Great runs for him. Great runs.
Yeah, it was good. I mean,
out
he
of
was,
town.
you know, I felt bad. He was up to third in the mod race on Saturday, and he went for it. And the problem was, I mean, no disrespect to New Egypt, but everyone that was there knows it looked like the ocean. Like it was ripple. Like I've never seen a surface do what that did. I mean, I've seen rough racetracks.
The water was underneath the clay, but
it was relatively new clay. And I believe they
so
just
it's like
put
what
it down.
Canandaigua did a couple years ago.
Yeah, they just put it down and then they raced on it, and it was not ready. I mean, they tried and tried and tried all day. I mean, but the track literally, like the clay went like this. It was like ripples.
Yeah.
So when guys went on the turn, it had to be, like speed bumps.
Right.
You know, and the whole goal was to go out there and just finish.
Sure. Looks like we got Bobby on the line, so we'll be catching up with Bobby here momentarily.
Sweet. All right. So yeah, we'll talk to Bobby Varin about it here momentarily, but it was a tough surface. As equally as tough as that surface was on Saturday, Sunday's surface, they got a little bit of a hole in turn one, but other than that, Big Diamond surface was pretty good. You know, all things considered, considering it is March and we're racing. So, but anyway, since we're talking about the racing action this weekend at New Egypt and Big Diamond, might as well talk to a guy that was there, and joining us on the line now here on the 31st lap, of course, is none other than Bobby Varin. Bobby, how we doing tonight?
Good, Mike. How are you?
I am spectacular. I'm having a good time. I'm already fired up talking about racing here, and we're enjoying ourselves so far. So, Bobby, let's take a look back at this weekend. Not too bad. You finally got a chance to go out there and make your debut with Rick Clay's car. You had it out at Selinsgrove in some hot lap sessions, but you went out, got up to third, and we're right there near the end, but ended up falling back to sixth after getting a flat tire. But you had to be happy with that finish on Saturday, considering the conditions that you guys were dealt with.
Well, I don't know that anybody besides the winner of that race was going to be happy with the track conditions as bad as they were. It was miserable to drive the race. I don't think any of us drivers really wanted to be out there. Nobody was having fun while the race was going on, including the leader of the race. You're just hoping and wishing that it was over, and I couldn't get over soon enough for the drivers. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I guess I can't complain in their finishing because we were able to finish. But I was a little bit disappointed because I still think that we should have done better than we did. So it's one of those very mixed feelings, I guess. I don't know.
Now take us through Sunday, of course. Everybody online's the controversy. I was fortunate. had a chance. I talked to you and, of course, talked to Duane Howard afterwards. And it seemed to me that both of you were kind of on the same page that it was a racing deal. You know, you were leading that race. You went into turn one, a lap car, did something in front of you. You kind of, you know, changed your line a little bit, and Howard was there, and you guys just kind of got together.
Well, you know, I mean, it was good, hard racing as we were racing up through. You know, we were rubbing some Nerf bars and everything. And, you know, it's like I always said, you know, racing is a contact sport. If we rub and bump a little, it's not too bad. I usually get a little fired up when people put you in the wall, you know, cut down your tires or spin you out. You know, that's enough to get under anybody's skin. And it happened, and I wasn't happy about it, and I did think that it was his fault, and it was the right call by the officials to put him to the rear. That is probably the key factor that kept everything moving in the right direction, because there would have been a penalty issued, whether or not anybody liked it. What are you going to do? I mean, the officials did their job, so I didn't have to do anything. But watching the video, I got to tell you, though, about 2 laps before I got spun out, which I do believe was probably good, hard racing. He probably, I definitely didn't check up. I want to make that clear. I never got on the binders at all, and neither did he. Just to make that clear. And but what really bothered me was 2 laps before the spin out incident, where it looked like he tried to hook me up the backstretch, and that looked like it was pretty intentional, and obviously I couldn't see that or anything before I talked to you the other night. So that kind of changed my opinion a little bit about what was going on out there. But if you take another look at that, Mike, I think you're going to agree with me. But it is what it is. We're through it. We both came back up through and had a pretty good finish.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned good hard racing, and I, you know, watching you two race, I mean, there was no doubt you. Neither one of you had a problem using the Nerf bar, so to speak. I mean, it seemed like you leaned on each other a little bit. You know, and as a fan, for me, you know, and those of us sitting together, that was fun for us to watch.
Yeah, that's you know, that's all good. As long as you're not trying to take the other guy out, and you know, you're using all the racetrack you can, and you know, you're gonna rub and bump a little bit. And that's to be expected. You know, and it can be fun when you've got a guy that. Can handle his race car, you know. I mean, obviously, you don't want to be bumping and rubbing with a guy that you don't think has got his car under control, you know, or a rookie out there or something, because the next thing you know, you're going to be hopping wheels and stuff. So, but it can be fun if you're doing that kind of stuff with a veteran, and neither one has the intention of taking the other one out. So, it can be a very exciting deal. You know,
you mentioned, you know, racing with guys, rookies, and so on and so forth. Is it different for you going down to Pennsylvania now? I mean, you ran the Sixer last year. You ran Big Diamond. You know, you're running Tom Uppenauer's car. Is it different going there racing against guys that you normally don't run against?
Well, I don't think it's any different for me than it was last year. For me, it's the same. But the racing is definitely different down there. There's no question about that. The racing is definitely different south of New York State.
Yeah, They have a different style in PA. They always have.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to make it sound like that's a negative thing or anything. The fans get the excitement and everything. It's just a different style. That's
it is.
It's a little bit different way of charging into the corners, a little bit different way of handling your race cars, and I think that's just because they've watched. You know, maybe it's up here that we race different because we've watched. Each other do it for so many years. You know, we watched Bob McCready, Alan Johnson, Danny Johnson, Jack Johnson, you know, all the guys up here race a certain way and go into the corners a certain way, you know. I grew up watching Jack Johnson, C.D. Colville, and Dave Lape, you know, so
yeah.
A lot of their style of racing, I guess, I've kind of adopted as part of my own. So I'm just saying the style of racing is different from New York to Pennsylvania. It is strange. I never really picked up on it until, you know, maybe last year, end of last year.
So how much more are we going to see? I know you're going to drive Rick Clay's car in a lot of the ROC events. And how much more time are we going to see in Tom's number 19 car?
Well, I love racing those Southern tiered racetracks. We're having a lot of good time down there, getting to know the drivers a little bit. And know their style a little bit, which makes it even a little bit more fun. I plan on racing as much as Tom wants to race, and Rick's a good guy. You know, Tom works on the car and gets it all ready. That's kind of how that all came about. Was Tommy made that happen as well, and Rick's a great guy. So we're just going to have some fun and go out, and anything that he wants to race, I'm ready to do, unless I'm got another commitment with another team.
You know, we had a question come in for you here on the live chat. Someone wants to know, how is your knee doing after the flip last year at Canandaigua in the sprint car?
Well, I've got some permanent damage to my knee. As far as being hurt, I feel a lot better, probably almost 100%. I don't have as much pain and stuff. The doctors tell me that I've got a lot of damage in there, and the arthritis is going to bother me, and I really am supposed to have some surgery, but it's a knee that was previously injured at another time, and so there's not really much they can do about it right now. The doctor just said, wait until you can't stand it anymore and then get some repairs done. So that's what we're going to do.
You know, you brought up, you know, running other line or other teams and so on and so forth, and this just happens to be, you know, we were joking about it actually earlier, our 66th show. It just happens that you're going to be driving the Atlas Paving 66 this year in Orange County. Talk about that opportunity and the excitement of you. You know, you're leaving Fonda, where you've been every week on Saturday nights for, heck, as long as I can remember, you know, and you're going down to Orange County, you know, and it's going to be a whole different challenge for it. But we know you've had success. I mean, you are a former Eastern States winner.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about driving the 66 car for the Petruska team. I really am impressed with the team itself. You know, it's father and his three sons, and you know, it's a family affair, and you know, the wives and the girlfriends are all involved, and it's a very family-oriented team. So it's going to be kind of neat working with that. They're pretty neat people as well. So I think we're going to have a real good time. Mike, he's a card, and you know, his boys take right after him. It's quite a comedy show in the pits there, but they're good people. They put out a fantastic product. I don't think I could ask for any better prepared equipment, and I think we're going to have some good results. At least I hope so, and I'm excited about it. And I'm excited to go to Middletown. You know, the racing at Fonda is kind of stale for me, so I'm excited about putting a little spring in the step on Saturday nights again.
What are the expectations going to Middletown? I mean, whole new deal. You know, you got guys like Tommy Meyer, Jerry Higbee, just to name a couple of the guys that run their weekly that are going to give you a run for your money. What are your expectations? I know, you know, just talking to you, I know every race you go out there, you want to win.
Yeah, I want to win, but what are my expectations going to Middletown? My expectations are to be competitive week in, week out. There's a lot of great runners down there. You know, just like over southern Pennsylvania. I mean, there's some great talent over there. Well, the same is true at whatever track you go to, and Middletown is going to be no easy task. There's a lot of good equipment down there, a lot of great drivers, and it's going to be easy by any means. I expect to be competitive. I hope to take down a few wins, and you know, we're certainly going to try our best, but I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse just yet. You know, I want to be competitive. I want to go out there and make our presence known, and put on some good races for the fans, and you know.
And there it goes. Come on.
Another question coming in here, Bobby, for you on the chat line. Want to know, was anything ever done, or did anybody ever catch the folks that robbed your shop last year?
No, we never really got a straight line on that. We thought we knew who had done it, and we had one opportunity to catch them, and the police told us that we didn't have a reason. They didn't have a reason to search them or anything that we could do about it, and by now it's everything's gone, I'm sure. So I don't think we're going to see anything more come about from that.
That's too bad.
Well, what's the plan? You know, you've got Tommy's car, you've got Rick Clay, you got the Sparta trucking ride. What's the plan with your equipment? I think you still have a car left, right? After everything was all said and done, you know, obviously no longer driving for Dave Cruikshank because he's retired from the car ownership game.
Yeah, well, Dave still owns the 00 cars and the equipment. You know, some of it's been sold off, and some of the other of it's still available and for sale. We have a lot of used parts for sale as well. But we do have the car, and I guess Dave is, you know, going to help me out, and we're going to run a few races this year. He told me I could use the cars if I wanted to, and we're going to go run a couple of the specials up to Utica, obviously.
That's a good plan.
What kind of damage we can do up there, and maybe some of the other Dirt Series shows or something. We'll see what happens.
You know, I got to say, Bobby, I picked you for the feature on Saturday, but I won't hold it against you because I saw you had sail panels on, and I was putting my money on you winning that race with the sail panels.
Well, you know what? It wasn't. I don't think it mattered whether you had sail panels on or not. I think it mattered whether you had 14-inch stroke shocks on your car or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that place was just a minefield, but that might have been fun, you know, if we had the right equipment, but we're just not set up for that kind of stuff, huh?
All right.
What's the plan on Fridays? Are you planning on hitting Glen Ridge or Accord or staying home? What's the deal?
Well, I think what we're planning on doing is heading back down to Big Diamond for their show there April 5th, is it?
Yeah, next weekend to the Money in the Mountains show.
Yeah, we're going to do that with Umbenauer's car again, and then Eric Nelson was talking about maybe hitting the first show down to Accord, so we might go to that and then go back to Glen Ridge for Friday nights.
So once Glen Ridge starts up on the 19th, you'll be there on Fridays.
Yeah, well, basically what it comes down to is on Friday nights, once we get into the rental season, I have to work all day Fridays, and I sometimes don't even get done working, setting up events and stuff like that until real late on Fridays, and Glen Ridge is only about 3 miles away from our shop, so I can split out of there when we get done and be able to get right to the racetrack. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't be able to race on Fridays at all.
Yep.
All right, a couple more questions coming in on the chat line. Got a question. Are you ever going to run a sprint car again after, you know, what happened at Canandaigua?
I love sprint cars, and if I had a ride, I'd be in one immediately. I'm looking for a good competitive ride that we can run at some of the racetracks that where the ESS comes around, and that would be fantastic. That would be great. With Pete Demetrazic taking over at Glen Ridge, I lost the sprint car deal that we had for last year, so that was unfortunate, but I absolutely love driving sprint cars.
I do got to ask, whatever happened to the wing off that car?
You'll have to ask Pete. I'm not sure.
Another question here for you. You know, there's a couple of choices on April 6th. You can go to Canandaigua. You can go to Fonda Speedway. Where will Bobby Varin be racing on that Saturday?
We're going to be at Fonda Speedway. We're going to go down there and take in what the racetrack has and see what happens at Fonda. You know, we love Fonda, but we're not so sure that Fonda loves us back.
That might be the quote of the night right there.
What will you be driving on that day?
One of the 66 cars.
Yeah. I got a question for you.
We'll be driving for Petruska's this coming Saturday in Bridgeport.
Yeah. I've got a question for you, Bobby. I'm not sure if you're aware. Glen Ridge has got a couple of Power Eye Outlaw Midget Series dates booked. It's a new series they just started up in New England, and they booked a couple dates at Glen Ridge this year. Has anybody contacted you about maybe throwing you in a midget or something?
No, but man, I'd be all over that. It sounds like a blast.
I know they booked 2 dates. I think one of them is in April, and the other one's maybe August or something. I forget.
Baumes would know. He would know everything about the midget series. But Bobby, you know, we do appreciate you coming on. We want to give you a chance. Anybody you got to thank, the website information, and so on and so forth. feel free to give that out, and we want to let you get back. I'm sure you got things to do. A lot of racing to go to this weekend.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank all the car owners. Obviously Dave Cruikshank is coming back on board, and then Petrusca's Tommy Umbenauer and Rick Clay, and Eric Nelson. It's a fantastic lineup that we've got of race cars for this year, and I'm going to be doing a lot of racing, so I'm looking forward to it. And I don't want anybody to think that I was being too hard on New Egypt Speedway. I absolutely love the racetrack. I think the race fans are in for some great racing there all year long. I just think that the racetrack was in horrible shape, and I don't think that we probably even should have ran on a racetrack like that. But I think that when we go back there for the next race, they're going to have it all fixed up, and we're going to have a great racetrack to go to. So I don't want to discourage the fans. There's going to be some awesome racing there as well.
All right, Bobby. Thanks a lot, man. We do appreciate it. Best of luck to you on Saturday down at Bridgeport. Put her to the wood there, man. You can and hang on to it.
Yeah, they're wide open.
I'm looking forward to it. That's a fast racetrack.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, it's a great place. It's definitely a good place to go watch a race. If you've never been there, it's got big, wide open grandstands. And,
big racetrack.
And it is a big, fast place. It's I guess it's the equivalent, as close to Syracuse as you can get on a weekly track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still get goosebumps. They're standing in the stands coming out of turn 2, in the pit grandstands with them cars coming directly at you, and you could just feel the thunder in the stands, and it's just an amazing spot to watch a race, especially when you got 24 or 26 of them coming at you all at once. That's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it is. Bobby, before you hang up, too, I wanted to say thanks to you and Danny for participating in the Fantasy League again. Thanks, man.
Hey, not a problem. Hopefully we can do better than what we've been doing. Boy, that's almost embarrassing. I don't think I'm going to keep doing it if you're going to make me embarrass myself.
Hey, I didn't pick him. You did.
Oh, go ahead, rub it in.
All right, man. Thanks again, Bobby, and we'll chat with you soon.
Okay, bud.
Thanks.
So Bobby Varin heading down to Bridgeport this week in the Atlas 66. So that'll be his debut this year, maiden voyage with that car.
Might have to get him a ride on a midget.
Oh, gee, you and midgets. Ugh.
Wouldn't you like to see that?
I no.
I had like 9 comments all come to my head at one time. I couldn't get any one of them out.
I got it out. No. Listen. I want to see him race whatever he can race, but
all right. Well, there you go.
But those aren't even like real midgets, man. They're like 600cc micros.
No, it's a full size midget. It's just they're Ford Focus engines.
Whatever.
4-cylinder motor,
right? Chevy Ecotec engines. They're a little less horsepower than a full blown midget. Still 4-cylinder.
Oh, you're done. I can wake up.
They're all 4 cylinders.
Yep. So that's
go
good.
on.
I don't know. He's got me all baffled with the midget crap.
Hey, some people like to see drivers jump in other things.
I do. I like to see him in a sprint car with a wing on top.
Okay, so there you go. I like to see him get in a midget.
And he wins with that. I'm sure he could win in a midget too, but
can you put sail panels on a midget, or does it? Oh, wait, it's called a sprint car with a wing on top.
Yeah, basically that's what the same thing. So that's why I like modifieds with sail panels.
Go on, Mike.
Big fan. Don't get me going on a sail panel rant. I got that. I can go on forever on that one, but I don't think anybody wants to hear it again. So,
look at that. Ken agrees with you.
Yeah, first time all night. Ken's not ripping me a new one, so that's good.
A new what?
I'm not going to say it. We're a family. This is a family show.
Really?
Yeah.
Because according to
no, don't do it.
What?
I don't want any swear words on here.
I wasn't going to swear.
It's too late.
We're behaving. We're behaving.
We are.
We're
behaving for our 32 live viewers.
Hey, the chat room's hopping all of a sudden.
I know. Everybody's changing their colors and stuff. It's impressive.
Wow.
I'm pink.
It's a cornucopia of pansy pink, I believe.
Yeah, you like that pansy pink?
What was identified as pansy pink?
I identified myself. Good times.
Dean jumped in with his Labatt blue or something like that.
No, he's got ESS blue. Come on.
Of course.
Come on. Come on. So
everybody else can talk because Kimmy isn't there. That's terrible.
Oh, they are busted.
She's not chimed in?
No, they're busted.
She's not watching. She's upset that we canceled, I think.
Shocker. Zoopy's got Richie Evans orange.
That's
man.
Cool.
Well, so, I mean, we got to get to the other big news. As much as we hate NASCAR on this show, we talk about it all the time, but this week was a cornucopia, if you will. That's a big word. I don't know if I'm using it right. Of things that we can chat about between the Logano-Hamlin thing, and then you got Tony Stewart trying to punch him in the face. I got to tell you, that may have been the best interview I've heard on NASCAR, other than the Mike Stefanik interview. Other than that, on Speed,
it was good. I love Stefanik's because it was different. You don't expect that out of him.
Right.
We've seen Tony's rants before, so it was nothing new. It was good, but it still doesn't beat Boris Said It. Boris Said It to Glenn to me, that was the best.
No, I just like
ever.
that he called Logano a little, whatever, and I could probably get the actual quote here if I wasn't being so lazy. But what becomes now of Joey Logano? Here's my question: since when is Joey Logano a badass?
Joey Logano isn't a badass.
Like
Joey
he's not.
Joey Logano is everybody's.
There's nothing badass about that.
Joey
Yeah, but
let me make 2 points. First, Joey Logano doesn't do anything until somebody else comes over and security breaks him up.
No, all he does is talk.
Second, he's not. I don't think he's a badass or anything. He's everybody's little brother at this point, and they're lumping up on him.
Right. I don't
think he did anything wrong on that last lap. I really don't. I think Hamlin side drafted him and got him loose, and he went up the track.
That's the argument you're going with?
I think Hamlin and Logano are meant for each other, to be honest with you.
It gives some entertainment. There's something to watch. Hamlin says that Logano's never a factor, and then what? He's out there leading, looking really strong.
Those two are perfect for each other.
Why?
Because they're both the same.
Go on.
All they do is run their mouths and talk, but they don't ever do anything.
I don't know. They've
so they're perfect for each other. Neither one of them can fight their way out of a wet paper bag.
All right, just to quote Tony Stewart properly.
Okay, do this, please.
And I'm going to read it. Yes. Dumb little son of a expletive runs us clear down to the infield, Stewart said afterwards. I'm reading this from Fox Sports.
Way to credit it. Nice job.
I will. No plagiarism. He wants to expletive about everybody else, and he's the one who drives like a little expletive. I'm going to assume that's
every other word was bleeped out.
Yeah. I'm going to bust his ass. All right. Then Logano, of course, says, "I don't know what he's mad about. I watched the replay. I can understand being a little irritated, but in my eyes, that's racing. In his eyes, it isn't. I'm going to have a talk to him about it. We always got along very well. I'm going to see if we can work this one out. I just hope Tony Stewart wrecks him. And then Stewart, of course, has some other things to say. If he runs, if he ever turns down a cross in front of me again, I don't care what lap it is, he won't make it through the other end of it."
Actually,
and then the other thing he said, if I didn't hit the chip on my river limiter, he would have made it through turn one to begin with. I'm tired of these guys doing that stuff, especially out of a kid that's been griping about everybody else, and then he does it the next week. And then what else did he say?
Call him a rich kid.
I missed that. Yeah, that quote's
that
not
was
here.
funny.
That's one of my favorite. Kid's never worked for anything in his life. That was my favorite.
He's never
quote.
worked a day in his life.
Yeah, that's not here. That one is not here.
Actually, my favorite part of his whole interview was the very first sentence when they apparently asked him, "Tony, what happened? What the hell do you think happened? What do you think I'm mad at?" I thought that was the best part of the whole interview.
Hold on. And then he made one other quote here. "If NASCAR wants to let guys have at it, it should be any different than hockey. Let us have at it, and when one guy goes to the ground, it's over." I agree. That I'm in on.
You know what drives me nuts about these situations, and we've seen it now the last couple of weeks, is the minute that the drivers have any tiff with one another, the crew guys cannot just let the two drivers handle it themselves and be men. They always have to get their nose in it and get involved. And that's when usually it escalates into a big mob scene because one idiot,
which is great for TV.
Love it.
One of the idiots in a crew
My favorite
has
part
to
of
go
baseball is when the
bonkers and
bench
start
is
grabbing
clear.
hold of somebody for no reason.
Who was it? John Tiff and I were talking about this. We were traveling together this weekend, to the races. And we were talking about there was a fight. Was it Logano and Hamlin a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, there was some guy in a red coat came out of nowhere.
Who was that guy?
I don't know.
Was he?
Well, there was some guy too working on the back of the car, like working on the window or something. Like those guys are brawling.
Yeah, for
and he's
what?
back
They
there
don't
just,
even know why.
He's just working on the race car. Like it's no big deal. Like okay,
Yeah,
hey, his job is to work on the back of the race.
Yeah, so he's like, well, I'm not. The fight's in the front of the car. I'm going to work on the back.
Hazard pay? Not here.
that deal with Logano
Put
and
my
Hamlin.
helmet back on.
There was a guy in a red coat that just all of a sudden just started manhandling people for no reason. Like I said to my wife, we're watching the replay. I go, is this guy even involved with the team? Where'd he come from?
And after he got thrown out, he was on his phone texting all his friends.
was
I'm
in the
going to be on TV.
I know. It's like, what is this? What's this guy doing
You
here?
know what, though? I have no problem with these guys going at it. I mean, that's what NASCAR was built on. That's how it got popular. People wrestling and rumbling, and let's let them have it.
Yeah, but it was two drivers that did it that day.
Yeah, let's let it go.
It was
then.
two drivers.
I mean, I understand the crew, though. Here's the problem. That guy getting out of the car, he's worth how many millions? And what's the crew guy's worth? About 25,000,
but
50,000?
Totally expendable.
Well, here's the other.
exactly.
Here's my other beef: is that the one guy doesn't let the other guy get out of the car.
Yeah.
They always
Well,
got to
here's
be
what I
the
never
first.
understood.
They got to be the first one to get to the other guy's window.
Right. Well,
I'm
here's
gonna
what
get
I've
to his
never
window
understood,
before
though.
he gets out.
Why is it like, what was it, Jeff Gordon that fought last year when he left his helmet on?
Left the helmet on.
Oh,
right.
what a pansy
Yeah,
ass.
what is that all
was
about?
If you're going to hit somebody, take your helmet off.
Yeah.
Okay, don't walk
Well,
over there.
remember-
Look how tough I am. I got a helmet
Yeah,
on.
but
Remember-
what about the guy that hits the guy with the helmet? What, you're hitting the helmet.
Well,
what
I
are
was
you
just
doing?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Michael Walter, remember we got in Lake Speed's face years and years ago?
Yeah.
He punched him like 3 times and Lake Speed still has his helmet on. It's
Yeah,
like, what?
exactly. Like, all you're doing is hurting your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, why are you punching the guy's helmet? That's not going to get you anywhere. Punch him in the chest.
You got 3 broken knuckles now. How'd you get out of that?
I don't know. I mean, I think all of this is good for NASCAR on 2 fronts. It's
Great
It's
publicity.
entertainment.
Absolutely.
And secondly, we're not talking about Danica.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best part. That is the best part about all of it.
Oh, I had a
didn't-
thought on Danica going to work today when I got stuck in traffic.
Never mind.
What? It has to do with why
Yeah,
she's driving her car.
I
What?
thought about her, too.
Yeah, of course you did. But no, I think, it's good. I mean, it sucks that Denny Hamlin's out, 6 weeks, they said, with a broken
Yeah, I
vertebra
mean,
in his-
I think the track kind of took a cop out in terms of that when they talked about the safer barrier not being placed there. They said, "Oh, well, NASCAR comes in and kind of tells us where to put them, and we've never seen a car crash there." I'm like, that's total crap.
Just like the
man.
car never
Yeah,
hit the end of
crap.
the wall. Where was that,
Yeah.
in Michigan?
There should not be any exposed concrete wall at any NASCAR sanctioned speedway.
All right, correction. Mike Benjamin corrected me. It's compressed, not broken. Thank you.
It's it's fractured, I think is what they said.
Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, that's okay. Thank you for the proper terminology. But no, yeah, I mean, that was a hard hit. I mean, he hit it square. But again, it goes back to the same thing. It's there's no possible way to make every possible centimeter of a racetrack safe. I mean, come on. Look at all the safety precautions taken at
but
Daytona.
walls-
You still had a
we're
car
talking
go
about-
into the stands. I mean, it's just...
We're talking about walls here, though. Why is
Yeah.
there a bare wall? Come on.
Yeah, but
Today,
it's just...
there should not be any bare walls at any tracks that they race at.
Yeah, I mean, it's
should
just...
not be happening.
It's just...
We always wait till somebody hits the wall.
It's a
Oh, look, they hit that one. I guess we better cover that, too.
It's
Come
pansification of America.
That's
Do you
why-
think...
Pansification
Now, here's
of
a
America.
question. Here's a question. Do you think because NASCAR is so safe now that's why people aren't watching it?
No.
No.
You think that's
I
anything
don't
to do
think
with
that's
it?
I don't think
anything
that
to
has anything to do with
No.
it.
Really?
No, because you could still
I think
have
it's
a
because
bad
NASCAR's-
accident, something really bad happened. The danger's
I mean,
still
think
there.
how bad is it for NASCAR that Denny Hamlin, who came out and criticized the Generation 6 cars, the guy that got the broken back?
Now, do they still fine them?
Yeah, it's NASCAR, idiot.
So we'll take your $25,000, enjoy your
I mean, let's
hospital
face
bed.
it,
Is
yeah.
that how it works?
Yeah.
If it's about the risk of getting injured or
Mhm.
possibly being killed is what you might think that is keeping
Because how many
keeping
fans-
people away, why isn't IndyCar selling out crowds everywhere? Those things are more dangerous than anything.
Yeah, I was just throwing it out there for
Yeah, I don't
discussion.
think.
That
I don't think.
was
That.
it.
I think
mean,
it's
I don't
because
either.
NASCAR has jumped the shark. Everything's been so vanilla and,
Yeah.
and watered down that they're probably not that interested.
Well, there's
in it.
no consistency. They keep
I don't know what
changing
happened.
everything. They changed their point structure. They changed
That's not
this,
true. There's a
they
lot of
changed that.
consistency. You can
There-
rely on them changing something every
Yes,
year.
that's the only consistency. Is that they change something. Look at the Bud Shootout or whatever the hell they call it now, or even the All Star Race. Every year it's a different format.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Nobody knows how it works anymore because it's different every year.
yeah,
Stop screwing it up.
they change everything. I mean, that's... See, here's the...
That sprint,
there's
that,
people
that
hate
sprint
change.
pole sitters race.
I mean, there's two different things here. If you keep it the same, things get stale. If you change
But
too
you can
much...
change subtleties.
right,
They go bonkers.
if you do it too much...
Yeah, they change
it's
everything,
it's
and
too
nobody knows
far.
how it works anymore.
Right, there's no in the middle there. There's no... they got to come up with something. I mean, it's just not...
I'll tell you the one. I guess for me, the only good part about this whole accident thing is I'm glad I don't have Denny Hamlin on my fantasy
team, of course.
Dino, everything's been the same since 2000 or whatever that number is in the tiny print, and they still sell out. So
All I know is that whoever's got him on their teams, I'm going to be next 5 weeks right past him.
I might want to... yeah, I hate fantasy NASCAR. I got a couple teams, but I don't even care. It's not like fantasy football where I actually sit and watch every game and...
right.
Myself and my
Right.
father-in-law went halves, and we got 3 teams
Mhm.
between the two of us, and we don't have him on any of our teams. Thank God.
Yeah, somebody's bringing up...
Bless your heart.
Yeah. Let's get back to the racing between the two of them. I thought the funniest part about that whole thing was they're beating the hell out of each other, and here comes Kyle Busch
went
right on
around
the
both.
outside.
Yep. See ya, thanks, fellas.
Yeah, like...
And
and it was
and
funny
you know
because I'm
what? He
watching the
dominated-
replay, and he is out of nowhere.
And
Nowhere.
And you know what? He
Shoo.
deserved to win a race. He dominated it anyway. He should have
Yeah.
won it.
Yeah,
I was thinking, why couldn't they have wrecked just like 3 seconds later to take out Kyle Busch and anybody but Kyle Busch comes across that line.
Yeah,
first.
I know.
I'm like,
Just,
oh.
I was glad because we have him on our team. So.
You got him on your fantasy team, yeah.
We had 4 of the top 5 because of that wreck, so
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny? You're one of those guys. Here's a question on your fantasy team: will you root against your favorite driver?
Oh
To
if money
bet-
talks. Now,
See,
let's throw
you're
this
not
out
even a
there.
real fan.
Now let me finish. It's not true. If it comes down to when I was a Rusty fan all those years and he was winning races, if I had a fantasy league team, which back then they used to do that crap too, I would root for Rusty first, absolutely. But
Yeah.
a lot of times I would put
But
him
since
on my
NASCAR's
team.
not the same, and after Rusty Wallace retired, and then he pulled his cars out too.
But a lot of times I would put him on my team, so it was a little different because I always, I believed in him. Now it's a little different being a J.J. Haley fan.
Now I know he's a
Obviously-
terrible announcer.
Obviously, I'm not going to put J.J. on my fantasy league team because
Rightly so.
you got to have somebody that's going to be up front, obviously. So
He is not.
it's a little different now than what it used to be for me.
Right. See, I always root for my team first and then fantasy afterwards.
I don't know what it is,
But
but you guys, your crummy mood rubbed off on me.
I
I don't
will
know
always-
what happened.
I will always
And you?
root for my
Yeah.
driver
You grumpy now too?
No, I am. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just everything's just freaking annoying me right now.
Yeah. We got some interesting things going on in the chat room that I do want to bring up. Gary Silverman production, we kind of mentioned him earlier if you want to watch the
GSP,
incident.
right?
Yeah, with Varin. He did mention the Andy Burkhart flip. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, I did
That
see
was
it.
one of the nastiest flips I've seen a modified take
He took a big time shot.
in a really long time. I mean, it was nasty. It was just plain ugly.
Yep.
Yeah.
He hopped the wheel on the backstretch. There were 3 wide. There was a 4 wide. They were all over one another, and he hopped the wheel, and it just went endo. I mean, side to side. I mean, nasty.
Did it rip everything right off it?
No, everything stayed connected, but I saw him trying to put it in the trailer.
Oh, man.
It was not a pleasant...
Everybody was okay.
yeah, he was okay. Yeah, but it was not a pleasant experience trying to get that car back into an enclosed hauler. Talk about that, and then a couple other things. Frank Cozy, so far, 0 for 3.
Yeah.
He is having some tough luck in the...
It's been mechanical failures so far.
Yeah, I mean...
New
Saturday,
Egypt, you take a little grain
right,
of
he
salt.
blew a motor.
Because not many people
Right.
finished that race in New Egypt.
Yeah,
anyway.
blew a motor. Then he broke a rear axle. And then Sunday, he had the left front ripped off in the heat race. And then he went out in the feature and then broke again.
A lot of people broke stuff at New Egypt. I mean, Duane broke a rear end, didn't even come back the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
it was just...
And at that point, what the hell's the point?
Yeah, I'll tell you, another point that was brought up was Rick Laubach at New Egypt. The dude drove like a man possessed. He just went for it.
He had second locked up there on the last lap.
Yeah,
and goofed it all up.
well, I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He goes, dude, it's $10,000. Like, you got to go for it. I'm like, come on.
he came
And then he
up
goes,
probably
and
$2,000.
I'm gonna quote it, and I'm gonna swear here, but it was funny. He goes, I've already beat the. What do you say? Hold on, let me get the proper quote because it was freaking hilarious. Like Rick Laubach, if you don't know him, he is a funny freaking guy. Like the stuff he says, but I quoted him in my DTD column this week. I just gotta find it. Give me a second. It was so funny.
He's dry.
Oh, here it is. The car was already beat to shit. What was one more turn? And he was not kidding. Not kidding. It was definitely... it's bad when the ambulance comes out and it's like... Because the guy flips and he's trying to go full throttle and the whole thing is doing one of these things and you're waiting for the ambulance to flip over.
You know who I'd like to talk to?
Who?
Because I don't... Other than maybe Danny, I don't know that anybody else was at that race several years ago at Evans Mills when the Caprers took it over.
Oh, right. The first
You
race
called
on
it
the
Thunder
dirt.
Alley, the first ever dirt race.
Oh, yeah.
At Thunder Alley. And the first race they have, it's early April, freezing cold, and they start out with a 100-lap Super Dirt Series race.
Yeah.
And that was for me, that was the worst track conditions I've ever seen.
I watched that on
in
Dirt
my
Vision
life.
from home.
Cars were doing jumps.
Wasn't Jerry Higbee there?
I don't remember.
I want to say he was. I don't remember why I remember
Like,
that.
Well, I couldn't tell you
6
for
cars
sure.
finished the whole
Yeah.
race. But Danny would be a guy that would have been at that race. So I would like to hear his comparison from that day to this track to see how it compared. Because I didn't get to see this one.
Yeah, Zupi was there. Dino was there. They have some experience with it.
Yeah, that's right. Zupi just remember Ryan Flips took a wild
It
ride
was-
that
Yeah.
night.
That was far and away the worst dirt surface I've ever seen.
I mean, this was
awful.
This was, you talked to all the guys afterwards, and they were pretty understanding. I mean, even Horton said, "Listen, we're all dealing with the same thing here." And people forget Reading. He goes, we used to open in March there too, and he goes, the track sucked.
Same way.
He goes, it's like racing in a cornfield. I mean, it's just, it is
well,
what it
the
is.
problem here wasn't the fact that it was March. It was the fact that they just put the clay down 2 weeks before.
Yeah, the clay
race.
hadn't been down long enough.
And the tracks part was the dumb move.
Yeah.
They had the race too soon.
Well, the thing is, though,
they should have put the clay down. If they're going to put new clay down, it should have been done in the fall.
Yeah. I got to say, New Egypt, other surface
beautiful
aside,
facility.
Surface aside,
awesome facility.
They've made more upgrades there. Like I read
that
they made the
more,
place,
which I don't even know what the hell you upgrade there. It's nice.
They
already.
took and built a wall around the backstretch and made it all black, so it looks like you're in a stadium. It's a cool look.
Black. Is it hard to see for the drivers though?
No, because it's
behind,
outside the
yeah.
track.
Oh, okay,
it's outside, so it's like this black wall all the way around, and then they have a huge New Egypt billboard on it. And it's, I was looking at it, and it's like telephone poles, like every 3 feet or 2 feet telephone pole. So if you hit that, it is not going to end well for you.
No, right.
It's going to be like Knoxville or whatever. It's going to keep you in. You're not flipping out of the ballpark there. There's no. I mean, unless you got to get some serious air. So that was nice. I mean, they have some really nice stuff there. I mean, they've done a great job.
Nice stuff.
Upgrading the facility. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to put it, but. Again, the surface did not work. It just didn't work. I mean, again, first time cars have been on it. It
was back in 04, 05 when the Dirt Series was at New Egypt and the track was brutal.
It's been, New Egypt is always, the few times I've been there, it's always been heavy.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was 2 years ago I went to this same race, and even then the track was rough.
They got a different clay, too. It's black.
No, it's not anymore. It's not.
No?
It's brown. It's not black anymore.
Really? It used to be black.
Used to be the
that
same
black clay
stuff.
was cool.
It used to be like the stuff that was at Windsor. Like it was like this gummy.
Yeah, it was almost like a gumbo like you see out in Iowa.
And it would get like a cushion on it. It was awesome. But now it's just regular clay, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it was...
Lost some of the character of it.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that's what was different for me is when you walked in,
you look at the track and it's black.
It was a black clay.
Yeah.
And I've only seen that out in Iowa. You don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah, it's funny that, you watch, for me, it's interesting to see how that place has changed and evolved. And I started going back there in about 2000 or so.
Right.
So it was totally different. Not it was a different size, a different shape. I mean, it has been revamped.
Who's taking care of that track when Brett Deo has this show out there?
It'll be the same groove,
group?
but it'll be June. I mean that's
not my point. That wasn't at all. That might have come out wrong. That wasn't intended the way that it probably sounded.
I'm assuming Fred knows what he's doing. I think he's got an excavation company.
Oh yeah,
or
I'm not questioning
equipment.
that.
So I'm assuming he's got an idea. I mean, I think again it's early season. The track's rough.
I think there's no track that's immune from an early track.
I mean, even Big Diamond surface, they did a hell of a job. It was smooth, except
the
for
video,
one
one
hole in turn
middle 1 and 2.
Yep.
There was developing a rut there right at the very end around feature time. But the video footage I saw prior to that and the updates that I was getting,
they were fine.
Not only from you, but having a couple other people sending me stuff that was there said the track was awesome.
Yeah, it was good racing.
Which is hard to do in March. So you got to appreciate when you do get a really good surface in March. It's hard to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's not.
But the problem with New Egypt again wasn't because it was March. It was because they just
I
put
think
the clay down.
I think it's a combination of both because it's warm. It's not warm. I'm not going to say it was free. I mean, it was cold.
It was one of the nicer days we've had in the last couple of weeks.
But again, when you start putting race tracks when the ground is still soft, you're never gonna. It's almost impossible to keep a whole track perfect.
And you throw in the factor that they just put the clay down,
right? And then you add all those factors together, right? And it just wasn't
because you didn't even get it worked in the ground. The ground's frozen.
Yeah, yep. I will say the Sportsman race was really good too. I mean, it was Kenny Ham won the Sportsman race, and that was
that wasn't his name. It was
it
Ken Hammond, right?
Ken Ham. Maybe it was Kenny Hammond.
Hammond.
Maybe I'm off a little bit on that. Hold on, I can look it up. I want to make sure I'm right on that. But it was, again, all in all, I was pleased with my weekend of racing. I thought it was pretty, the amazing part about New Egypt on Saturday for me was how well those guys raced each other while racing on that.
Right.
Like, they were all over each other. Like, Godown, he was on fire. Laubach hauling the mail. Like, it didn't faze him. You watch the cars. There is something cool for me when a car hits a rut and like this cloud of mud like this size goes flying up over the.
You don't know where
over the
roof.
I talked to Blewett. Jimmy Blewett ended up getting second, and he goes, There was at one point when the mud was on my screen. He goes, I can't even see. Like, it was just stuck to my rock
and
screen.
you just keep going.
He goes, I just laid to it. What are you going to do? You know? So, I mean, you get some interesting stuff, you know, from those guys when it comes to that. You know, but all the guys, I mean, most of the guys were understanding of what happened. They weren't, you know.
Yeah,
they
nobody's
weren't,
really bashed the track for it.
No, I mean, you know what you're getting.
I just, you know, I think they jumped the gun trying to have a race too soon with having just put the clay down. They should have had a chance to let the track thaw, and then they could churn it up and get it all mixed in. And instead, they just made a mistake.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they lived and they learned.
They'll fix it. Yeah, they'll fix it. And Ken Hammond, you were right, Baumes. So that's who it was, that one. So, but they'll fix it. I mean, how many times have we seen tracks in New York the same way? You know, Brewerton put down some clay last year. It was rough for a little bit, but they got it figured out.
Once you get it sorted out,
they fixed it, you know, and
just got to give them benefit of the doubt. The unfortunate part is that they had a major race.
But again, I mean, we were at New Egypt again 2 years ago.
The guinea pig, you know.
It was 2 years ago, opening day. It was the same thing. It was rough. I remember the rut in turn 2. The car would disappear, and then it'd come back out. Like it's just. It's March, man. You know, as a driver, they understand it. As fans, we know, hey, we got to just
glad to be at a race.
Yeah, you're glad to be there. I mean, it's cold out. You're freezing your butt off. Yeah. But if the racing's good, I tend to let go the track because, again, it's not my bills. So I don't want to sound cynical when I say that, but I'm not the one paying for the race cars. And I mean, I feel bad for the guys that do have to pay the bills because they spend some money. But as a fan, if I look at New Egypt and Big Diamond this weekend as from a fan's perspective, I had a great time. Great time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be interesting to see this weekend. You know, I'm doing some sprint car racing, and Williams Grove and Port Royal are opening up. So we'll see.
Hopefully, I got a tweet just before we went on air.
Yeah,
Attica's already canceled.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I mean,
and Casey and Brad announced this afternoon that they were not going now. They were supposed to be going there.
Right, but because of the weather, well, obviously not.
So they had obviously an inkling that the weather wasn't going to be too good.
Yeah.
So they scrapped their plans from going there, but Attica ended up canceling anyway.
Well,
for Friday.
So let's hope that Williams Grove races. I know I'm excited. Can't wait. My first time to the Grove in 2013. I love Williams Grove, but all right. What other topics have we've killed the rock race? That's dead. That is dead. DEAD.
Well, you never really did talk about the whole incident.
What's that with Varin and Howard?
Uh-huh.
You want to know my opinion?
I already know yours. You wrote a column.
Yeah. Well, no. I tell you this.
Unless you didn't tell the truth in there.
No, I'll tell you. I will tell you my reaction to the whole thing. Okay. I'll do the same thing when I'm announcing too. Like, when I'm watching a race, let's say two guys are battling, and then something like that happens. It just pisses me off. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm not yelling. But I'm annoyed because I'm like, this was a
great race.
This was a really good race, and now it's gone.
Was ruined. Yeah.
It's gone, and I get so angry because of that.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, damn it, Howard, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like, you get angry because you're like, that was such a good race between the two of them. Because watching him and Varin, I mean, they went back and forth.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
You know, they went back and forth.
The highlights from Gary's video.
You know, and it was awesome.
He just made a mistake. I think. I said this on Facebook, and I'll stick to it. Obviously, I don't know what's going on in a driver's head.
Right.
I can only guess. My interpretation from what I saw, again, I wasn't there either.
Right.
Like you were. You saw the whole thing, the whole race. I only saw the highlights, what Gary Silverman put up. And I just think it was a racing deal. He got in there too hot and just made a mistake. Overshot the corner. And you could see him when he went into one. He was on the binders, and that car was pitched sideways as he was trying to get off of.
Right.
To avoid hitting Bobby, but it was too late. He went in there with such a head of steam that he just ran right over him. And the other thing is, previously looking at the highlights, it looked like Bobby was going in on the top.
Bobby was going in a little higher.
And that one particular lap, he went right down to the bottom because of the lap cars being there.
Yep.
And I think that caught Duane off guard, and it screwed them all up.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he went in there expecting him to be up in the middle or the top, and he was going in the bottom like he had been. And when Bobby shot to the bottom, I think it just messed him up. And he just made a mistake. It was completely his fault.
I mean, I'll read what Howard said, and here's what Howard said to me after the race. I talked to him. I was coming with a full head of steam. I didn't expect Varin to dive to the bottom like that. I apologize. I don't want to race like that. It was in lap traffic. They were double filing. Varin went to that line, and I didn't expect him to go there. It's a shame I knocked two good cars out. There we go.
Yeah.
Can't even read my own quotes. So, I mean, I think
he had no motive to take him out. All the Varin fans were all up in arms, and I understand the frustration. I get it. But they were, the whole thing is similar to what Kyle Larson was going through. Everybody was ready to kill Duane Howard because he took him out. What was the motive? There was no motive.
Okay,
for him
what's
to
your
take him
opinion
out.
on what happened a couple laps before that in the video when you see?
I saw that part too.
What'd you say?
Gary saw that, and that's a little sketchy for me. And I'll only give you. If you're gonna ask for my opinion,
I want your honest opinion. I don't want the Duane Howard fan in your opinion.
No. It's got nothing to do with that. Being a Duane Howard fan, I've been to Big Diamond many, many times, and I know how he runs that racetrack. If you go there on a regular basis and you watch Duane Howard, when he goes into 3, because this happened on the backstretch, when he goes into 3, he goes in he takes a real wide, high arc into 3, way wider than most any other driver out there every lap, and that's how he runs that place, and he always has. And I think when he realized he was below Bobby at that point, he had his right front up by Bobby's left rear. I think he realized going into 1, he can't be here. And he, at this last second, darted over to take his wide entry into 3.
Right.
And when he darted over across Bobby's, rear bumper, he clipped him, and I think he just misjudged it. I think, what would be the motive for him to dump him right there?
Well, look, one of the things
you were there because I didn't see it. You were there. Did anything happen prior to that that there would have been a motive?
You mentioned I talked to both guys. Like I said, they were both. Yeah, well, $3,000, but they were, bumping. They were racing.
Bobby even talked about that.
But again, that's what they do there.
Right.
So that's nothing out of the ordinary down there.
Right. They were racing, and it seemed like from Bobby, it seemed like he was a little upset with that one after he watched the video. But to me, what Bobby said Sunday kind of applies. He said, if he wanted to dump me,
he could have chances to do it.
He could have done it 5 other times.
Absolutely.
And
he didn't. That's what
because he was so calculating. He needed to make it look like an accident.
Right.
But there was just no motive there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, this is coming from somebody who wasn't there. You
were.
were. Did you see any motive that would have made him do that?
Looking at everything afterwards, it's different than watching it live. When you see something live,
but
you're
you
always
never saw it coming, obviously.
Right. So if you don't expect it, I expect.
If something happens,
but
then
here's
you
the thing:
it.
when I go to Pennsylvania, I expect to see somebody get dumped because that's usually how it goes. Like it's just
Sunday at Fontana. We all expected those two to crash each other.
Oh yeah, there was no
the
doubt
motives
there.
were there. We expected that. You didn't see that coming with the turn 1 wreck.
Right.
Prior to that, you didn't see it coming.
I didn't. No.
So that was my point. What would be the motive for him to dump
the thing
him?
is,
Doesn't make any sense.
but here's when you put the fact that he hit him on the backstretch there the one time, and then he ends up getting together with him and he spins
right.
and one.
And I think people see that.
Then
in
you
the
put
highlights.
it together and it doesn't look as good for Howard.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And I think it's just the case he just misjudged it. Because if you watch him run Big Diamond, and I've been there many times over the last 20 years, and when he goes into 3, he takes a really wide arc. Because I've always noticed that.
Right.
Being a fan of his the last 20 years of going there, I've always noticed that he does that differently than most everybody else that races that place.
Right.
And I don't know if that's part of the reason why he's always so fast there. I don't know. He runs that place different than anybody else.
The one thing I did like, what was I going to say? I just had a brain fart all of a sudden. What did Bobby? There was one line that Bobby used when he was talking about if the officials didn't put him back, I was going to take care of it.
Yeah, and that's why he said, he admitted that. That's why he didn't have to do anything.
Right.
Or what was he going to do? What was he going to do? Sit on the roof of his car?
Throw a tantrum or have a fit or go after him, slam the car, whatever. Any of that stuff. He didn't have to do it because he did take care of it.
Yeah, I know. And that's the one thing. I like the passion that, that Bobby's got. You love him, hate him, whatever. The guy's passionate. It's an entertaining.
Well, I wonder too, because 5-10 years ago, he wouldn't have been that. Okay with that. And I think a lot of that is just him getting a little older now, starting to. He's a veteran now. It's around long enough,
right?
I'm telling you, 10 years, being a Fonda guy our whole lives.
Oh yeah.
10 years ago, a Fonda, he would have never. If somebody ever did that, even if they did put the guy in the rear, he would have just went off.
Yeah, and we've seen other guys do it. It happens.
Everybody's gone through that. At some point
where they just get so frustrated with somebody.
The adrenaline is flowing. Man.
My favorite story.
I don't even know what I would do.
Right. See, my favorite story is still when It was Jim. I think I've told this on the story, but Jimmy Davis and Varin got together, and Davis flipped in turn 1. He gets out of the car and goes running down the backstretch to get to Bobby's car.
Yes.
I love that. Oh, that's my favorite one of the whole deal. If you've never heard the story, I'm not going to tell it again because I've told it too many times now. But ask me about it, I'll tell you about it. And it was funny, but whew.
But that was my view. I didn't see anything intentional, but I said it on Facebook. He was 100% at fault.
Right. Yep. And the
I'm not going to
officials
say
did
it
the right
because
thing.
I'm a Duane Howard fan. Say, that he didn't make any mistake. Of course he did. It was a huge mistake.
Right.
But I don't think there was any intent. I don't think he went into turn 1 and say, I'm going to dump him.
Right.
Why? What's the benefit there?
Right.
The officials aren't going to like that.
So let's change it up a little bit. We got a couple minutes left here. We don't, we got an SU game to watch
Yes,
tonight,
we
right?
do. Yes, we do.
9:45. Everybody hustle home.
Yep.
But since we got Bridgeport coming up, we got a Race of Champions race down at Bridgeport. Let's do some
Make
picks.
some picks?
Yeah, let's make some picks. First round at the what's the place down the street?
Oh, both?
Bowls. Yeah,
Bowls.
first round next week after the show.
Next week. Good plan.
Is on the
Not
loser.
tonight.
Not tonight. Is on the loser.
Yeah, tonight we're going home.
Yeah, we are. So it's on the loser. The car that finishes the worst
Out of the 3 picks.
out of the 3 picks.
All right.
So
What if your car's not even there?
I got to think smart. Then you lose.
Then you lose. Period. So
You're a big loser.
yep. So what?
So
are
I
we
got to
going?
pick wisely.
Yep. So what
Yep.
do you got?
What do you got?
Just pick them and get it over
Who's
with.
going first?
You are. We're
Just pick
looking
Duane
at
You
you.
want me to
Howard.
go first?
Pick Duane Howard. Do it because I know that's who you want to pick. Do it. Just
Are you
do
kidding
it.
me? Just
I'm
do
throwing
it.
him out.
Fine. I'll do it then.
Duane in the
I wasn't
126.
gonna, but I will now.
Duane in the 126.
I still haven't seen him in that car enough that
I saw him. He
I
broke a rear end.
I don't. I got to tell you, after seeing Pauch in that car last year, I'm a little nervous about that car. Pauch didn't do crap in Glenn's car. I know Duane's got a lot of success at Bridgeport with that car in the past, but that was the past. I
Yep.
don't know how good that car is right now. Pauch did not impress me last year in that
Okay.
thing.
All right, Mark.
But I'll take him
I'll let you go
because
second.
I'll take him because you guys are busting my balls.
Who you got?
You think Matt Shepard's going?
He is now.
Is he now?
Now that BlackRock canceled, he's
Is
going.
it on his schedule?
I don't know. I don't.
Because BlackRock's
I've never
out.
been on his website, but it was put. I saw it on Facebook that he is going.
Oh, he is going there.
Yes.
Von Doren's good over
Actually,
there,
it was
too.
Bridgeport's-
Pico Stick's got a point. Von Doren's good there, too.
Yeah.
It was Bridgeport Speedway's Facebook page that said Matt Shepard will now be here.
Okay. So you going with Matt Shepard?
I'm torn. There's Von Doren, Brett, Stewie,
Oh, there's
Shepard,
a ton.
Varin.
Danny,
It's hard not to pick one guy.
You know, I mean, there's Lawbach's really good there.
Yep.
Horton, Pauch. I mean, you got a million people to pick from.
You know what? I'm going with Billy Pauch.
That's a random. I like it though. All right. Who?
Not really random there, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's not NES. It's not New Egypt.
Dude,
All
how
right.
many wins has he got at Bridgeport?
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
150 or something.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. All right. You know what? I'll take one for the show. For the show, bro.
Varin?
I'll pick Varin.
Yeah.
I'll take Varin in the Atlas paving car.
You should have picked Richie Pratt.
Nah. You know
Pratt's-
what?
Pratt's
I am
another
going to
good
be a
one.
homer. I'm going to be a homer and pick the guy that was on the show tonight just because I got confidence. He's been running
I didn't
well.
want to take that away from you.
I
I would have picked somebody else if he didn't. I mean, it was tough because I was thinking Godown or Lawbach was my other
Oh, I
two
forgot
choices.
about Godown, yeah.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't
Yeah,
even-
that's another good one, too.
I
No,
don't.
it's a very rare instance that I get to root for Billy Pauch without a pen in my hand, so
Yeah.
gives you something to do.
I didn't
Yeah.
even pick him in the Dirt Track Digest Pick'em Challenge thing.
Right.
I didn't even pick Duane to win the race on that.
Pico Stick's upset that nobody picked Danny Johnson.
Yeah.
Did you
That's
see
who
Dino's?
actually- that's who I put on Dirt Track Digest.
Dino's-
to win was
Dino
Dino.
took Brett the Jet. He's in the bet. You know what though? Don't let.
How's he going to do? How's he going to pay up?
Yeah.
Is he going to come out next
He's
week?
coming out next week.
Tina has go down.
Well, there's a shocker.
Yeah, I know. So
So is she coming
we
out
got
next week,
Jimmy.
too?
We got a Jimmy
Tina-
Horton pick.
Tina-
We
Wait a
got
minute.
some-
Whoa. Wait
That's
a second.
quite the
Wait a
phrase.
second.
Tina
This is-
has go down. No
this is-
kidding.
Hang on.
Many
Hang on.
times.
Stop.
a second. Stop a second. Because now we've got.
We
now
got 15 people going to be in studio next week.
Yeah. This is this isn't quite what I signed up for. I don't know about you
Yeah.
guys.
I'm not sure if Keith Hoffman's racing. That's one I don't know. We're getting asked that in the chat.
I'll get
Doubt
that.
it.
I'll
He's
get that
not on
stuff
the-
documented too. I'll throw all that stuff up on the board so that we can.
Okay,
track
so
that
I
next
got
week.
Baron,
Bridgeport's list
you
of
got
drivers
Howard.
that committed, Keith's
Uh-huh.
name is not there.
Okay.
I doubt.
well,
with him running the
running
show,
the place is
right.
probably not the best
no,
idea.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't
You've got-
imagine he would.
You've got Von Doren or Varin, and you got Howard, and I got the password for the WordPress, so I got whoever's not the lowest.
Yeah. We have the podcast to go back to. And don't forget, I'm going to be a homer one more time here. Get the app, the Dirt Track Digest app. Let me see if I can show you the homepage. Did I do this last week? I didn't, did I? How is it? Can you see it?
Not with a glare. I mean, you get the idea there.
There?
Yeah, it's not bad.
That better?
I mean, there's a lot of overhead light. It doesn't
All
help.
right.
It
So
doesn't
that's what
help
you
it.
need. Get the app, and of course, a lot of good things on the app. I want you to get that. And if you missed the show, the 31st Lap podcast is available literally minutes after we upload it here from the studio. You
It'll
can
be up.
get it. You can listen to it on your phone if you miss it.
We were going out the door downstairs last week,
And it was
playing.
there. Yep.
Yeah,
and it was
already
there, and I had it playing.
So it's coming.
It is ready to go. So
We're at 8:30.
I like it. Good hour and 15-minute show.
Yep, I think we did it. We touched on everything. Once again, the show at Daubers not going to happen this Saturday, but we are going to make that one up, and I think that's going to do it.
Happy
for this
birthday,
edition,
old guy.
This edition of the 31st Lap. We appreciate you guys stopping by, and we'll see you right back here again next week.
www.fingerlakes1.com